バンダイナムコ。
Compete against the Pack in the online Battle Royale game, Pac-Man 99. This game is available as a special offer for Nintendo Switch Online members. To win, you'll need to be the last Pac-Man standing. If ghosts are closing in on you, grab a power pellet to chomp them. Any ghost you chomp will be sent to attack other players as Jammer Pac-Man. This also works the other way around. Bump into one and your movement speed will drop, so watch out. The key to victory lies in sleeping ghosts. If you chomp these stationary, slumbering specters, they'll multiply and form a ghost train. Grab a power pellet, then get ready for an all-you-can-chomp ghost buffet. By pulling this off, you'll overwhelm opponents with a ghostly nightmare. But that's not the only tool at your disposal. Make use of 4 power-ups to gain an advantage, like one that doubles your movement speed. You also have 4 targeting options, such as Knockout, which targets opponents on the verge of losing the game. Use these power-ups and targeting options to be the last Pac-Man chomping in the end. Become the best of 99. The PAC-ONE. Pac-Man 99 launches April 7th as an exclusive offer for Nintendo Switch Online members. And if you're looking for a nostalgia trip, optional paid DLC packs containing classic Namco themes and offline modes will also be available at launch.
And welcome into the Pac-Man 99 Challenge. I'm your head commentator, Jordan Kent, and joining me for all of the Paction today, she's never met a ghost she didn't want to devour. Please welcome in Persia. And Persia, I know we were talking beforehand. What are you excited to see today?
I am excited to see a lot of different things, from strategy to seeing which one of our players adapts which strategy that they've decided on, and ultimately who is going to be our champion by the end of it all.
We are looking to find that PAC-ONE, that champion that rises up above all. Now, who's going to be competing? What will the tournament look like? Let's go ahead and take a look at this video that'll explain all the action that'll take place here shortly.
This is the Pac-Man 99 Challenge. Eat Pac Dots and Power Pellets. Chomp Ghosts.
God, this ghost has been haunting me this whole game. Get over here.
Oh my gosh!
No, not like this.
Look at them trying to run away. I'm gonna eat them.
I will be the last Pac-Man standing.
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 Catch all the Paction on July 31st with your favorite influencers. Pac-Man 99 is available now.
Well, there you have it. Maximilian, Justin, Wong, Vampy, and DeputyARUUU will be facing off against each other in all of the action. Now, how the scoring will work is there will be 15 rounds that we'll be going through. We'll have 3 sets of 5, basically, then take a quick breather so that all of them can catch their breath as they're chomping down on all of these ghosts. And depending on where they finish each match, they'll get points ranging from 50 points for first place all the way down to 1 single point if you can make it in that bottom 25. And finally, you can catch all the action from their perspective. Make sure you go ahead and check out their Twitch channels. You can see things and see how they're dealing with all the Paction one-on-one. And Persia, you mentioned strategy earlier on, and there are a lot of different ways you can attack this. I know that you played a lot of Pac-Man 99. What are you thinking about some of the ways that our competitors are going to attack these ghosts?
Well, it's actually pretty funny because Justin already mentioned on Twitter the other day that he has a clear strategy going into this, and that is to play his signature lame style, the patient game. And you can definitely play that way in Pac-Man 99. And considering our format today, it might not be a bad decision because we are trying to make sure we survive as long as possible. Obviously, we do want to get dubs on the screen, but getting up there close into the top 10, even top 5, there are still substantial points to win by just waiting it out and playing patient. So whether that means we camp some of the corners, camp some of the power pellets, sometimes when you're stationary in a corner near a power pellet, you can kind of take on some jammer Pac-Man and kind of mitigate some of that slowdown damage for later on. And then you have the power palette right at your disposal whenever a ghost gets a little bit too close. So I think that might be one of the strategies Justin might go for, but I'm also interested in seeing who's really going to add some variety to these strategies, because you can actually incorporate some interesting combos, swapping between all of the different options that you have, whether it's speed or strength or just standard, before you pick up a power pellet. So I'm interested to see who is going to take advantage of that.
Interesting insight on Justin Wong's strategy. They do say summer is camping season, so we'll see what happens there. But as we mentioned, they're facing off against 99 opponents. Well, 99 is just a drop in the bucket to the total number of downloads. Check this out. A huge milestone for Pac-Man 99, 4 million downloads. That's a lot of power pellets and ghosts that are being chomped by Pac-Man, so all the fun continues. And we're going to go ahead and step aside and get things started with our Pac-Man 99 challenge when we return, the first of 5 matches between our 4 influencers to find out who today will be our PAC-ONE. And welcome back to the Pac-Man 99 Challenge. Jordan Kent alongside Persia. We're getting set for our first set of 3 of 5 matches. That totals 15 matches between our 4 influencers. And Persia, as they get set to elude ghosts and chomp on power pellets and pack dots, movement is very important. Doesn't matter if it's in the beginning or the end game. Being able to control Pac-Man and avoid all of the obstacles will be key for success. And looking at the movement that takes place, what stands out to you about what they really need to keep in mind?
You know, in a game where you're constantly on the move, it makes perfect sense that there's going to be even more enhanced movement tips. And this slide is actually perfect for little things that we might forget or might not realize. When you eat every small pack dot on the screen, it will increase your speed. And later on in the later games where your screen is filled with Jammer Pac-Man, you're going to want that extra speed boost. You're also going to want it if you like to run strength as an option, because it does cost 1 level of speed. And sometimes you'll notice that your screen doesn't spawn with any pack dots. Well, lucky you, that means you already get that speed boost and you got a great start to your match if that's what you start with. So I'm curious to see which one of our players who start or might start in one of their 15 matches with all of those pack dots gone in the first screen so they get that automatic boost. I'm curious to see if that changes their game plan for the rest of the match, because like you mentioned earlier, setting up that speed early in the game can definitely help you in the late game, because we were talking a little strategy before the stream, you know, we've been playing a little bit. So I think that is definitely going to play a factor in our matches today.
VampyBitme, Justin Wong, and Maximilian facing off in the Pac-ONE today to figure out who will be PAC-ONE. 15 matches, scoring once again 50 points for first place, 25 points for second place, 15 for third. You'll get 12 points between 4th and 5th, and then from there it goes lower and lower. You still get 1 point for just starting. If you're 76 through 100, we're still going to give you a point, but every point matters, especially when you consider how random things can be. We're going to talk about the Jammer Pac-Man that spawn, and you could be cruising right along, Persia, and then all of a sudden just get sandwiched between all these obstacles, and trying to get every single place up the ladder, I imagine, is going to be huge today.
Absolutely. And for those of you who don't know, our Pac-Men do have some unique quirks and stuff like that. And I'm curious to see if our players are going to incorporate that into their game plan. For instance, Pinky, she loves to just hop out in front of you, get in front of Pac-Man, and you can kind of use that to your advantage to kite the Pac-Man. If you have a train going and you want to keep it kind of behind you so that you can access it the second you get a power pellet, then doing so with the correct color ghost might be a good tip.
Don't forget, you can follow all of our streamers on their individual Twitch channels if you want to see things from their perspective, their commentary as well, because the action's certainly going to heat up. And here's our 4 box. We get things rolling here. On your top left, Maximilian, Vampy on the top right, looking for a match. ARUUU on your bottom left, and then Justin Wong. And already ARUUU clearing out more than half the map, chomping down on a ghost train, building up a combo nearly to 10. And we've mentioned before the strategy here, Persia. Looks like going for that speed, looking for those dots, trying to clear those boards in those earlier rounds, Persia.
Absolutely. We can see that ARUUU is waiting for the optimal times to pick up these power pellets. Obviously wants to clear as many pack dots as possible to gain that speed boost, but not automatically going for those pellets every single chance she gets. But she went ahead and advanced to the next level, leaving some of those pack dots behind, which means she actually did not get the speed boost for this round.
Very surprising. Round 1, leading some pack dots on the field, still sitting at speed 0, and we're now at 50 remaining players left for ARUUU. So some of those red Jammer Pac-Man will soonly start to spawn, and here comes a couple of sleeping ghosts being devoured. Here's ARUUU trying to build up that combo. 6, 7, 8, 9, reversing course, building it up to 14. You see that strawberry in the middle of the map. As soon as she chows down on that strawberry, that'll reset things and move her on to the next round. But plenty of space for ARUUU. Grabs another power pellet. That'll eliminate those white Jammer Pac-Man. And Persia, timing up when you get those power pellets is absolutely key when you're getting down to 50, 40 players left.
Absolutely, because not only is everything getting a little bit more fast, but your screen is just going to be getting flooded with Jammer Pac-Man from every opponent that's still left on the board. And soon we're going to see some red ones, which are actually extremely dangerous and aren't so lenient when it comes to running into them, like we're seeing with ARUUU right now. But currently, she is definitely maintaining her space correctly. She's been looking pretty clear, even though there is a lot of Jammer Pac-Mans on the screen. She does not seem phased at all and definitely confident and actually facing the Jammer Pac-Man head to head right there in the corner. There were no ghosts in the way. She knew she had the time to just get some of that off of her screen. But we're gonna hop over to Maximilian's screen now, as he has a speed level of 5 right now in the 5th round. So it looks like we definitely have a speed run going.
Maximilian using that speed power up, that'll send fewer Jammer Pac-Man on your attacks. But when you're getting to round 5, having that advantage, that speed over the ensuing ghosts will be huge. Some more Jammer Pac-Man spawning, still sitting at that 5 speed. And oh, Maximilian gets devoured by the ghost and places 14. So Maximilian will grab 6 points in his first match. But let's check in with Vampy, still hanging strong. Less than 30 competitors left and just cruising along speed of 0, but no Jammer Pac-Man on the board here in round 5, Persia. And this is a lot of real estate to operate with.
Absolutely. We see Vampy building up the train in the back. Looks like she's going to go for it early here just to make sure she has a nice clean palette to work with. And why not? Let's just keep the ghosts frightened, keep them intimidated as we are breezing through this level right now. Vampy definitely looks collected. She's staying patient right now. Like we mentioned before, just eating those white Pac-Man so that we don't have to deal with them later. But the red ones, they're starting to show up. They're starting, and they cannot be, you can't get rid of them until you advance to the next level. So that's a whole nother game plan in and of itself.
Vampy into round 7, 15 players left in her match, grabbing that power pellet. A lot of available ghosts on her plate. She's going to start that combo, and this is going to potentially knock out a few opponents and down to the final 10 for Vampy. Vampy looking very strong here in round 7, and now it's all about survival at this point, Persia, trying to buy as much time as you possibly can as you move up the ranks.
Absolutely. We have got top 10 action happening right now on Vampy's screen, but she's getting oppressed. Everyone came together in that moment. Jammer, Pac-Man, Ghost, all of them. And there she goes. She got pretty far, though. Very, very far.
She did 7 points for Vampy, but you see just how difficult it is to get into that top 5, that top 3, where you can almost double or triple your points if you are just inside that top 10. So very impressive right there. And we noticed one little strategy from both Vampy and ARUUU, and that was allowing yourself to be consumed by those white Jammer Pac-Man when there's no ghost around. That really seemed to clear up the board for them.
Yeah, definitely. And as we saw in the later rounds, that played a huge part in what makes it so difficult to stay alive, because everyone is sending damage back and forth. And of course, when you get down to those really, first place, second place, top 10, all of those placings get a little hectic, and everyone is looking for the player who has the most knockouts. So they could be sending you even more damage if you've been killing it that game. And now we have our leaderboard so we can see who is already leading the pack, and it's ARUUU, which means she got 4th or 5th in her first match.
Very impressive initial showings from ARUUU, Vampy, Justin Wong, and Maximilian. ARUUU, though, sprinting out to a 5-point lead over Vampy, and ARUUU looked very comfortable. And as we mentioned, when you get in that top 10, it can start to get pretty random as we check in on Maximilian, moving up to round 3. Speed is at 2, going with that speed power up once again. That is so critical in the late game as you get to these higher rounds, just to make sure that you can still maneuver around the board. And it looks like Maximilian going to try and clean his plate here, get all these pack dots, and move up one more level in his speed. We saw those blue one-way arrows pop up. Pac-Man can navigate those. The Ghost can't. So one more bit of help as you try to elude all of our spectral friends trying to chase down Pac-Man. Maximilian looking strong. And Persia, as you were going to say, he just continues to gobble up those white Jammer Pac-Man. Maximilian very comfortable here, Persia.
Extremely comfortable, and actually utilizing the time of the power pellet to its full extent there, because when you do start a combo on a train of frightened ghosts, it does extend your timer a little bit, so you don't have to worry about it running out mid combo, especially if you have a massive train of ghosts heading your way.
We saw a bit of a camping strategy from Maximilian, just allowing himself to absorb those White Jammer Pac-Man round 4. So as many people are so familiar with in Pac-Man, that timer on the power pellet's going to get shorter and shorter as you move up in those rounds. But right now, Maximilian, very comfortable navigating all of this traffic up to round 5, has a full board. So if he wants to try and get all the dots here, that's going to be quite the challenge right now. Just hanging out by that one power pellet will consume that. And Maximilian under the top 30. Seems like that speed strategy is now being switched to standard, and Persia, the switching between power-ups is something that all of our players will have to keep in mind throughout these matches.
Absolutely, especially if they want to make the most out of their damage. And I like Max's strategy of building up the speed early with the speed boost and then switching to a different power-up like standard after he's already acquired the speed that he needs, so he can start doing some real damage. But the scary thing here is that there are a lot of red Jammer Pac-Man popping up now, along with a lot of regular Jammer Pac-Man. So he is going to be sacrificing some of that speed by letting go of that speed boost when it seems like it's ramping up the most. However, it all looks well, and he's avoiding this red Jammer Pac-Man in a very crucial intersection of the corner. One of the dots is completely covered by the red Pac-Man. Let's see if he can get out of this, and he can't right when he breaks into the top 10. That was intense, Jordan.
Yeah, a lot of red Jammer Pac-Man, and as you know, you've got to clear at least 75% of those dots to get the fruit to appear. And when you've got a full map in a late round and a lot of red Jammer Pac-Man, that is a recipe for disaster. Let's go ahead and check in on Justin Wong for the first time today. He's in the top 10 and just cruising along with that 5 speed. And Justin Wong, sticking to that standard power-up, has a huge potential train. Can he get to the buffet in time? No, he can't. But here's a chance with an hour. Yes, and here's the power pellet, a massive combo from Justin Wong, and the King of Evo, very familiar with the large combos when you look at his fighting game prowess. Now has built up a lot of medals, and those medals will also enhance the number of Jammer Pac-Man. They'll improve your attack, so knocking out more of your competitors. And it's going to be Pinky that is able to eliminate Justin Wong, but Justin Wong getting 12 big points by finishing 5th. And as we said with Pinky, she will position herself in front of Pac-Man. So while you're trying to elude some other ghosts, Pinky's right there to meet you head on.
Pinky had her eye on the prize right there. She saw exactly the direction that Justin's Pac-Man was going and said, "This is perfect. This is my moment." And sure enough, Pinky took out Justin, but he was in the top 10. He was doing really well. He definitely racked up some substantial points that round.
And it just goes to show you how every second matters so much. As soon as Justin was eliminated, 2 other players got eliminated. He was just moments away from finishing in the top 5. And when you get to those later rounds, you just hope that you can get a little lucky with the positioning of the red Jammer Pac-Man and make sure you're always near that power pellet. And you've talked about it, that camping strategy. We saw it with Maximilian. It can come in handy when there's a heavy board out there.
Exactly. And right there at the end, the red Jammer Pac-Man clogged up the right side of the board, and Justin seemed to hesitate a little bit to try to find the best course of action. But by that time, when he cut left, Pinky was there. And that's why you cannot hesitate, because the ghosts, they're on the way. They are on the way.
Third match for Maximilian. Maximilian, as we've seen before, loves to use that speed power-up early on, gather as many dots and as many speed boosts as possible, and then we'll switch to standard a little bit later. An easy round 1 to navigate as he'll add to his combo total, building up to 19, trying to clear all of these dots in round 1. He does so, and that'll build up the speed boost as he chows down on the cherry, advancing to round 2. Another full map, and it goes back to that conversation, Persia. Is it all about getting speed boost early on, or do you want to just rack up that combo in the early game?
It really depends on what you're doing with that combo, right? If you don't know, for the viewers at home, you can actually tap any one of these boards that you see on the left or right of your own board and send your Jammer Pac-Man specifically to that board. So if you see someone that you feel like you can send a bunch of damage to just to secure a quick badge, maybe that's something you can take into consideration, but obviously easier said than done when you're running from a board full of ghosts and jammers and all of the above.
Let's check in with ARUUU, who's on her third match, sitting at 18 points total, had an impressive top 5 finish in her first match, and then finished in the top 20 for 6 more points in her second match. Early on, 64 competitors remaining in round 1 and going for that speed boost, and it really seems like you have to capitalize, Persia, on these early rounds where you have so much time on that power pellet meter and the ghosts aren't moving quite as quickly to build up those speed boosts that become so vital in the late game.
Extremely vital, because you're not going to get this much space and this much room to do this later on, and you're really going to have to focus on where you're going and what you're doing and doing it intentionally and kind of staying ahead of the curve, especially when you have ghosts in the game that purposely will chase you, like Blinky. Blinky is out to get you and will follow you, and that's something you need to take into consideration when you're trying to get ahead and not get trapped in a corner in between a red Jammer Pac-Man, Blinky, and regular Jammer Pac-Man. There's a lot to focus on.
And ARUUU, showered by some white Jammer Pac-Man, able to shake those off, grabs another power pellet, working towards that northern part of the map, moving on down, grabs the fruit. That'll advance her to round 4, adding some more sleeping ghosts, trying to maintain that combo. Power pellet will end, and so now ARUUU, who was vulnerable for a moment, grabs the power pellet, working her way up. Here's a huge chain right in front of her to chow down on, and ARUUU clearing out a lot of ghosts and pouring on some heavy damage to her opponents as she is now just outside the top 30. First red Jammer Pac-Man appearing, but nothing to be afraid about. Those red Jammer Pac-Man, of course, will freeze when you grab a power pellet. So ARUUU now advancing to round 5, has a red Jammer Pac-Man in hot pursuit, trying to use the tunnel. A lot of folks closing in. ARUUU narrowly escapes. A few ghosts closing in, able to get that power pellet and building up an impressive combo here, Persia, of 20 as we see 5 red Jammer Pac-Man on the map at the moment.
Yes, she is going to need to clear out some of these pack dots so that she can advance a level, but she's trapped now! She's trapped, she needs to go back and forth and hopefully wait until she gets an opening like she did right there, which was extremely clutch. And she grabbed the power pellet at the perfect time where she still had an opening to get to the fruit, which is huge. She is also running this round on the knockout ability, and we see a lot of red screens on the board because she is down to almost the top 10. So going for those knockouts right now is a good choice, because if she does get a knockout on one of the heavy hitters in this current match, she's going to get their badges and their speed up, and she's going to be looking good.
Incredible display of movement by ARUUU. Now she's in the top 10 at this point. 9 competitors remaining, trying to take care of those Jammer Pac-Man. Oh, they are slowing her down. ARUUU trying to fight through it, and ARUUU able to get the power pellet. That buys her some precious time. Now it's all about spawning that fruit. There's the melon. ARUUU going to advance to the next round, eliminate those red Jammer Pac-Man. 7 players remaining for ARUUU, now down to 6. Huge points on the table for ARUUU. She can just continue to stay alive. Oh, and it is Pinky that comes out of nowhere to eliminate ARUUU. An impressive display by ARUUU, but both ARUUU and Vampy getting some big time finishes, adding to their point total. Vampy moving all the way up to 25 points, and very disappointing if you're ARUUU though, Persia, because there was no ghost in sight, and all of a sudden Pinky just pops out of nowhere and eliminates ARUUU when she had a chance to get into the top 3.
Pinky back at it again, being a sneaky one for sure, because like we mentioned before, Pinky likes to stay ahead and get in your face, which means she might pop out at a really awkward angle because she took a route that she knows was going to end up in front of you, which is something we might not always be taking into consideration. So let's see if Max is doing a good job of that. We came in a little bit late, but he cleared that board out really fast, or he might have started with a partially filled board, not 100% sure, but already got a speed boost, already looking good. The ghosts are nice and tame right now, and I think he's hoping to get a dub this time. He's looking pretty focused, Jordan.
Yeah, Maximilian, our resident speed demon, loves that speed power up, trying to build up those speed boosts. Got it up to as many as 5 at one point. Trying to build that ghost train, working his way around the bottom right corner of the map, grabs that fruit, advances to round 4, ghost train sitting in front of him. He'll devour that, a combo of 58 at the moment, trying to fight through that white Jammer Pac-Man, keeps the combo alive. A monstrous chain going here. Now it's 70 for Maximilian, trying to really put the pressure on his opponents. Top 40 at the moment, just chilling in the corner, marinating, waiting for some ghosts to pop up. Grabs that power pellet, going to consume Inky and Pinky. This time moving around, looking for another power pellet. Not a lot of action on the map, and this is a calm before the storm, I feel like, Persia, where you're just trying to bide your time, and a golden opportunity to clear the board here for Maximilian if he wants another speed boost.
And it's definitely going to be another speed boost, but not before we chomp on another ghost or two before we get to the next level. And now we're starting to see the clutter. And here we do. Stay in the corner and make sure we can absorb some of those so that we can move freely going forward. So very nice from Maximilian. Although he sounded a little panicked there. He was definitely had it all under control.
Maximilian with 2 red Jammer Pac-Man on the map. He'll grab that power pellet, nearly gets sandwiched by a couple of white Jammer Pac-Man. Another opportunity to get a speed boost up to 5 for Maximilian. He'll go ahead and time that power pellet up perfectly. He'll eliminate some ghosts by munching then.
Forget that.
And then Vampy, let's switch to her with 25 points near the top of our leaderboard. She's just cruising along at this point, and we've seen Vampy be a little bit more methodical here, Persia, and that's paid off well for her.
Exactly. We see it right here. We are sitting good, sitting easy. And, you know, we might have thought Pinky was going to take a trip south, but no, she went through the tunnel and we had all the time in the world right there to just wait. And just in that moment right there, about 10 people were knocked out, and now she's getting more points and more points just by being patient. And now we can see why she's at the top of our leaderboard right now.
Quite the difference between Maximilian and Vampy. We've seen Maximilian use that speed power up and just quickly motor through the courses as fast as he possibly can. But here is Vampy just cruising along in round 3, just making sure that she gets every single ghost gobbled up, waiting for some of those Jammer Pac-Man just to close in on her before she goes to the power pellet, utilizing that camping strategy. No need to go out and be the attacker. Let the ghost come to you. Persia, I always like it when my food's brought to me. I don't need to necessarily stand up and go find it, and that's what we're seeing with Vampy.
Exactly, and she is cruising, and this is really all she needs to do in these early rounds. And something else to consider is that every time you do advance the rounds, it will bring back your power pellets, it will bring back the pack dots, but it's going to speed up the ghosts too. So that is kind of the drawback to Maximilian's style right now, in that, yes, he is very fast, which is amazing, especially in the end game, but those ghosts, they're pretty quick too. So I kind of like the balance we have of strategies between all of our players so far.
And Persia, as we mentioned, Vampy is in the top 30 at this moment. Let's check in with Maximilian. He's in the top 2. Maximilian trying to get 50 huge points. If he can get PAC-ONE, just trying to wait out one more player. Maximilian gets the power pellet. Round 10. You know you don't have a lot of time to work with. Maximilian with that standard power-up. Here comes Inky, keeping the train alive. As long as you're chewing on those ghosts, you won't run out of power pellet time. Maximilian, top 2. Jammer Pac-Man surrounding a Maximilian. Let's see if he is PAC-ONE. Is this going to be 50 huge points? No! Maximilian falling short to TK, but Maximilian getting 25 points. And he was trailing all of our competitors, but those 25 points are massive. And you just see how difficult it is as we check in on Justin Wong, how hard it is to get in those top 2, Persia.
He was so close, and of course, like we had seen before, just too many jammers on the screen to deal with, especially in those later rounds where everyone is very quick. So, but like you said, those points are massive right now, especially because we still have a lot more games on the way, and getting ahead early right now is going to be really clutch.
Let's turn up the beats for a minute as we are now in the top 10 for Justin Wong, trying to add to that ghost train. Here's a couple of Jammer Pac-Man. He's going to clear the board. Oh, what a gift. A clear board for Justin Wong in round 9 with 8 competitors. Yes, please. I'll take that. Has a chance to close out the ghost train. A couple of Jammer Pac-Man closing in. Justin Wong trying to build up a huge combo with 6 competitors remaining, adding to that ghost chain. What a dodge, but it's Pinky coming from behind. That's not what Pinky's supposed to do. Pinky's supposed to get you in front here, Persia, not from behind.
You know, Pinky is a master of all things, all right? And definitely has been a nuisance for our players today. Pinky, Pinky wanted some shine and she's getting it. It's so funny. It's so funny. I kind of had a feeling one of the ghosts would be the extra nuisance today, and it's Pinky, guys.
Yeah, Pinky getting your MVG, most valuable ghost so far of these first 5 matches. And Justin Wong was right there knocking on the door of the top 5. But so far, our most impressive display has been from Maximilian, finishing number 2, getting 25 huge points. And I imagine that that'll certainly vault him up the leaderboard. And don't forget, folks, you can check in on their Twitch streams, these individual competitors, to see things from their point of view, focusing in on all of their action. And here is ARUUU picking things up one more time before we get set for a little break and we move on to our next set of 5 matches. ARUUU with 32 points was hot out the gate with 12 points in her first match, but so far has hit a few speed bumps trying to get into those top 4 or 5 positions. And Persia, we've seen with ARUUU, once again, that balanced play style we saw with Vampy, where you just want to sort of get the speed built up early on and then get a chance to build longer combos as you get to rounds 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, we haven't really seen ARUUU prioritize massive combos too much. Oh, and she narrowly escaped Blinky right there. She got the pellet just in time. She has a little bit of heavy breathing going on, which is completely understandable because in this last match of our first set of matches, you don't want to go out early like that. She's just now broken into the top 50, and that would have been a heartbreaker, but she's here for a reason. That's because she's got the skills to pay the bills, and she has definitely given it all to the ghost right now by hitting this combo.
And that's such a good point, Persia. All of our competitors can't afford a bad match where you finish top 70, top 80, and only get 1 or 2 points, because we've seen so far this trend of they're starting to learn, they're starting to improve in front of our eyes, and that was evidenced by Maximilian getting that top 2. But here is ARUUU. Looks like she's back in control, going to build up a chain of 17, trying to gobble down a few more ghosts. Will advance to round 6, has the power pellet available. You see that timer in the middle. Not much time remaining on these power pellets, but will keep the train alive. Combos up to 10. Not too many Jammer Pac-Man on the board. ARUUU sitting at 32 points, has the apple, can't advance to the next round, but we'll go ahead and just try to eat up a lot of these Jammer Pac-Man. Doesn't mind taking that bit of slowdown because she is still in full control of this map. And this is when things start to get dicey. Those red Jammer Pac-Man popping on board here at Persia. And that's when things start to shift from just getting power pellets to, I got to find that fruit and get rid of those red Jammer Pac-Man.
Exactly. And something that we saw a little bit earlier too is that when you do grab a power pellet, the red Jammer Pac-Man stays still. So now, not only do you have to think about picking it up at the optimal time, but you have to worry about picking it up in a position where these red Jammer Pac-Man aren't blocking your only exits.
ARUUU now in a bit of a pickle. Here comes Pinky, but sandwiched by the 2 ghosts, Blinky and Pinky, going the 1-2 combo on ARUUU. She'll finish a decent 22nd, but that is just 5 points for ARUUU. And you see Maximilian moving up to the top of the leaderboard with 42 points, not too far behind. Vampy in second with 34, ARUUU with 32, and Justin Wong at 26 as we look at our 4-shot. And it just goes to show you, if you can get a second or third place finish, and you know what, you love a first, you're going to give yourself a huge advantage over your competitors because the points, Persia, are just so much higher at those top 3 positions.
Absolutely, and it looks like Maximilian has gone out at 15th in that match, and Justin is the only one still in his current game for game number 5. And he has a massive train just waiting to be comboed, but he's gonna leave that there for a rainy day because he's looking nice and sunny here in this corner. Also extending the combo. There is a limit to the train, but hey, why not? Let's just make sure we're topped off and looking good for when we're ready to send all of that damage to somebody else. But right now he has counter selected, so he's just using it as a defense mechanism, which is very on brand for Justin. So I have no, qualms with how he's playing this. Having it on deck for when he's ready is absolutely the play.
A massive combo coming from Justin Wong up to 35 in round 4. 36 competitors remaining for Justin Wong. He's in last place so far out of our 4 competitors. He's trying to move up the leaderboard. He's our 4th and final player to finish their 5th match here before we take a break. Justin Wong in the left-hand corner grabbing another power pellet. just making his way, gonna maybe take advantage of a speed boost here. He will. Plenty of daylight to go ahead and gobble up these last few pack dots and get a speed boost. He'll go ahead and do the train. So nicely done on round 4 for Justin Wong. Very workmanlike. And the train continues. We have a red jammer Pac-Man appearing to the right, one also to the north. Justin Wong trying to locate those and watch his back. Gobbles up another ghost, builds up the train. Another opportunity for a power pellet. That'll eliminate those white jammer Pac-Man. Justin Wong can't advance to the next level, but just trying to dot his I's and cross his T's here as he moves to round 6. Trying to get greedy here, Persia, build up the train, but there he goes. Advances to the next round. They'll get him a fresh slate.
Absolutely. And honestly, a first place finish right now could completely change the state of our leaderboard. So it's really up to Justin to play this nice and safe and go for this quote-unquote lame strategy that he's been championing for the last few days and see how it pays off for him. The red jammer Pac-Man are getting dangerously close, but looks like he still wants to push the boundaries and get a few more pellets before he advances.
And Justin Wong doing a fine job of just leaving some available power pellets, always giving himself an exit strategy at any moment's notice. You know, sometimes when you got to get out of a place, you got to make sure you can find the door. And Justin Wong just really sticking to the perimeters here and making sure that he's keeping those red jammer Pac-Man in check. There are now over 6 of them on the map. He'll go ahead and grab that fruit, clear them out, and now just 10 players remaining. Can Justin Wong snag a top 3 finish and vault to the top of our leaderboard here in our Pac-Man 99 challenge? 9 competitors remaining. Red jammer Pac-Man gone. Looking for another power pellet. Justin Wong trying to clear out some things, but now you've got an army of red jammer Pac-Man. Justin Wong, oh, the onslaught was too much. You just saw, Persia, those nearly dozen red jammer Pac-Man spawn, and Justin Wong got trapped in a corner with no power pellets, so he'll finish top 10 and snag 7 points, but that's how hard it is. When you're in that bottom 10, you're with the best of the best in that match. And if you want to get to that top 3, it gets even harder. So our results after our first 5 matches: Maximilian at first with 48 points, that huge second place finish giving him 25. ARUUU at 37, Vampy at 34, and Justin Wong hot on their heels like Pinky at 33 points. And so a lot of fun action so far here. It's a lot of fun to keep up with here, Persia. And it seems like so far having that strategy that you can use as almost a variable later in the match. Maybe it's speed and then I'm going to be patient. You always have to think on your toes is what it sounds like as far as what these players and competitors are doing.
Absolutely. I mean, I think late game, what it really comes down to is sending your damage at the right time. Something I noticed there in that last match with Justin is that he did opt to skip to the next level to get rid of those red jammer Pac-Man early, which is a great choice. There were a few on the screen, but the second that he did that, a ton more red jammer Pac-Man came through, meaning that his opponent waited until he cleared the board to a point where he did not have the accessible means to get another fruit to clear those red jammer Pac-Man and put him in that position where he was stuck in the corner.
All right, we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we'll have another set of 5 matches in our Pac-Man 99 challenge. We'll see which streamer, which influencer will rise at the top and try to dethrone Maximilian when we come back. And welcome back to the Pac-Man 99 Challenge. Jordan Kent here alongside Persia as we are watching 4 of our influencers chomp down on Pac Dots and Ghosts as they try to climb to the top of our leaderboard. And after the first 5 matches, it's Maximilian rising to the top, 48 points, courtesy a huge second place finish that nabbed him 25 points, not too far behind him. ARUUU, Vampy, and Justin Wong as we get set for another 5 matches. But we've talked about movement here, Persia. Now, what about certain maze gimmicks that take place? You got to navigate the board, which is always so important. And what are we looking at here as we try to decipher this graphic?
I mean, there's a few things that are in the maze that you might not be aware of. Ghost movement in the tunnels that take you from one side to the other is halved, which means if you really need to get out of dodge, if you've got a couple of ghosts on your tail and you come to the tunnel, you might be able to get out of there as long as you're paying attention to the other side and making sure you're not walking right into more danger. There are also a few one-way paths that you will notice when you start a new round, and you'll see these arrows pop up, but they aren't going to last the entire game, but they will be there in those early rounds to help you out. And then of course that lower lane on the bottom of the maze, while it can be tempting, while it does look like the fastest point from A to B, it's dangerous. You can definitely get ambushed down there, and you want to make sure you're not down there too long. Or if you do, then make sure you look both ways before you cross the street.
Yeah, just like rush hour traffic, stick to the side streets when there's a lot of traffic there in that bottom well. And so we've seen so far Pinky, the most valuable ghost, that has knocked out 3 of our competitors on separate occasions right when they were knocking on the door of maybe a number 1 finish or a top 3 finish. And understanding the movement of our ghosts is very important as you try to also deal with these Jammer Pac-Man, Red Jammer Pac-Man, and the action gets intense. It gets unpredictable as you start to get to those final rounds. But a couple of strategies have emerged, and with Maximilian, our leader here, Persia, he loves getting as much speed as possible early on to help him maneuver the board in those later rounds.
Absolutely. And now we are hopping back into our next set of 5 games from our players. And let's see what they applied to their game plan that they learned from the first round. We had a couple of minutes, had a quick breather, and now let's see how we adapt. You know, we got a bunch of fighting game players in this event, so they know a thing or two about adaptation.
They had a chance during the break to chow down on some orange wedges and cherries and prepare themselves for the second set of 5 matches. Here is the ghost train for ARUUU in the bottom left. She's been very consistent from start to finish so far. Had the early lead, raced out to a top 5 finish, and since then has been floating right around there. But I feel like her movement, we've seen her, Persia, get out of some very predicament places that have allowed her to move up and get some crucial points. And so her movement is really the one skill amongst our 4 players that has impressed me the most.
Absolutely. Being able to just get out of dodge in a game like this requires more than just seeing ahead of you. You got to see around the corner, you know, a few blocks down. And that's something that I think Vampy is definitely doing at this moment, because she noticed there were a lot of Jammer Pac-Man on the screen, used the pellet to get the ghosts away and to get a couple of seconds to breathe and mitigate some of those jammers. And now she's just kind of cruising and doing the same thing, which is perfect, because after the first 5 games, all of our players are going to have a feel for what exactly is going to be effective for them in this match.
Vampy, one of the most talented cosplayers in the world, known for her attention to detail, and that is reflected, Persia, in the way that she plays. She seems to be very meticulous, making sure that she gets every dot and making sure that she goes through every single corner. I love how thoughtful she is in the way that she approaches her strategy match after match.
Exactly. And, you know, not being afraid to just go ahead and burn the pellet the second you see any sign of danger is always a good sign, because it's better to nip it in the bud early than to deal with it later on when you're in a very, very horrible situation. And I appreciate that from her game plan, because while the style of being an absolute speed demon is extremely appealing, I do think there is a little bit of safety in taking the old-fashioned way like Vampy is.
Oh no!
24 competitors left for Vampy. She's sitting in 3rd place overall, but those Red Jammer Pac-Man close in on her with no place to escape. And that is a finish of 5 points. Good for Vampy, and she is frustrated. You see the frustration on her face, punching the air. Can't believe She got caught by 2 red jammer Pac-Man. Let's turn our attention to ARUUU, the focus in her gaze as she is navigating this maze with 12 competitors remaining, and ARUUU continues to knock on the door of top 10 finishes. Now, can she break into the top 3, do something that maybe no one else has done either here, and become PAC-ONE for her match? 10 players remaining, and this is going to be ARUUU once again getting slowed down by a jammer Pac-Man and then pursued upon by 2 red jammer Pac-Man. She'll finish 9th and pick up 7 points. Here is Maximilian.
Gotta clear.
I know I said a lot of stuff earlier about the old-fashioned way, but so far we just saw ARUUU and Vampy go down to a speed issue. They got slowed down by these jammer Pac-Men until it was too late. And this is where the speed boost is really going to come in handy, because Max is, you know, he is going to run into these jammer Pac-Men, but it's not nearly going to make him as slow as it did with ARUUU and Vampy.
And the biggest difference between Maximilian, ARUUU, and Vampy is the speed that Maximilian carries into every single round, sitting at 5, borderline ticket range for Maximilian as he is navigating this bottom right corner of the maze, going to absorb some of those jammer Pac-Men, a huge all-you-can-eat ghost buffet that he chows down on as he continues to motor along. He's now in the top 10. Looks like he's in total control. He's going to go ahead and eliminate an army of white jammer Pac-Man that were trying to join the foray.
I'm taking it.
And now a chance for Maximilian. He mentioned he's going to take a clear path for that fruit to clear those red jammer Pac-Man. At this moment, how long can you survive? Can you avoid those red jammer Pac-Man? Maximilian trying to avoid Clyde. He does, but it's a red jammer Pac-Man as Maximilian evaded the ghost, but not the jammer Pac-Man. Another impressive finish for him. And let's see if whether that was 6th or 5th. That's a difference of 5 points. If he's in 5th place, he gets 12 points. 6th place, just 7 points. And that goes to show you, Persia, those top 5 finishes, that's what you got to get to separate yourself here.
Absolutely, and at least keeping the gap close enough that you can still catch up in these next few matches that we have to offer. But the speed, we talked about it being great, but it also kind of worked against Max right there, because he was so fast that he ran into another situation that he unfortunately couldn't get out of as he was running away from the former one. So it really is about how much you can handle the speed just as much as how fastly you can build it up.
And it's difficult to think 2-3 steps ahead when you have so many jammer Pac-Men that are spawning in the map in random areas. Obviously, your focus is on the ghost, trying to avoid Pinky, Blinky, Inky, and Clyde. But when those jammer Pac-Men spawn and you're not near a power pellet or the fruit, that's when things get very precarious for our players. But so far, Maximilian, the speed strategy seems to be working out very well for him as he is being pursued by Vampy and ARUUU in our leaderboard. And really what's fascinating is swapping between that camping style and absorbing those jammer Pac-Man here, Persia. But then when do you go on the attack? When do you go on the offensive when you're in the top 10 and you're trying to get everybody else off the board? Because we've seen it. When you get to the top 10, Persia, it takes a while for folks to start getting knocked out at that point.
Yes, absolutely. Because at this point, everyone has kind of solidified their game plan and are in the top 10 for a reason. But if you notice that bar at the bottom of our player's screen, where it kind of seems like they're building up Pac-Man of their own, this is kind of a gauge to let us know how much we can defend against and how much we can, and how many of these jammer Pac-Man are about to be on the way. So as you see this bar filling up at the bottom, that's how you know that it's starting to get a little bit dangerous. So my solution to this is usually to save up my long combo train, try to eat as many pack dots as I can, and then when I see that a lot of this damage is coming at me, that's where I pop the combo and try to at least mitigate it and send some of it right back at whoever is being a big old butt hit this day and sending me all of these ghosts.
And obviously you can target your opponents. You've got random hunter, knockout, counter. Right now we see Vampy looking at knockout, trying to build up some of those medals that will help strengthen your attacks. A couple of one-way arrows briefly pop up for Vampy, unable to utilize them. Still plenty of time left on that power pellet meter on the top left, just chilling. You see Vampy bopping her head, vibing to this beat right now, trying to chase down some few ghosts. Add that to the meal. And Vampy clears her plate, gets a nice maze right here. Just 4 power pellets, and that's going to make things very easy for Vampy as she's just outside the top 30, and she's waiting for that train to approach. Is going to go ahead and chomp down on that train. Let's go ahead and switch over to Justin Wong, see what our man's up to here. He's in round 6, top 10, and doing that camping style that you talked about here, Persia.
Yeah, breaking into this top 10, actually looking like he's in a great position because there's not much damage coming his way at the moment, which means he can take this time to really eat up a bunch of those pack dots, up that speed a little bit, and just get ready for what top 5 is going to look like, because he's one more opponent from getting there, which is actually huge because now we are approaching the double-digit point placings, and he has a long combo on deck. It looks like he's going to keep it for a rainy day again, but Pinky was coming around the corner with a mission. Luckily, Justin picked up that power pellet just in time and still hasn't decided to burn the ghost combo just yet, but definitely wants to get rid of those Jammer Pac-Man a little bit earlier, just so that he doesn't have anything in the way of sending big damage when he needs it.
Justin Wong, top 5 territory, has a huge ghost train, and he'll get a chance to send a monstrous attack with now 4 players left. Justin Wong is going to gobble up some massive points and try and climb up our leaderboard in our Pac-Man 99 challenge. And Justin Wong caught by Blinky. You saw that Jammer Pac-Man trip him up in a 4th place finish for 12 points for Justin Wong. That'll move him up to 51, just 4 points shy of our leader, Maximilian. So keep an eye out for Justin Wong, who is mounting a furious comeback as we approach the near halfway point in our 15 matches. Maximilian sitting at 55, has that huge 2nd place finish that vaulted him to the top of the leaderboards, but since then hasn't been able to sniff 2nd place, being somewhat methodical with a lot of White Jammer Pac-Man and Hot Pursuit. And you heard him, a lot of dudes coming his way, but a chance to clear them out here, Persia.
Yep, and just taking the same route he's been taking this whole time, which has been paying off for him.
I don't like this one.
The cool thing about the way Maximilian is playing is that he's doing a good job at taking out the ghosts singularly without really going for a combo, just so he can pin them all in the center so he can get even more free range on the board to get rid of those jammers and to eat more pack dots. And combos are cool and all, but making sure you got all 4 of those pesky little ghosts in the pin for a little while can be useful as well.
Survive and advance is the theme when you get to these later rounds. Round 7 for Maximilian. You see 75% dots on the board. He'll cruise around that red Jammer Pac-ONE. Has a melon available whenever he wants to chow down on that. We're going to build up the combo. 2 power pellets. No need to rush things at this moment. Should have an easy path. But keep an eye out for those red Jammer Pac-Man. Time to clear those off the board. You hear Maximilian always mention if he has a clear path to the fruit, he is beelining it faster than a vegan to grab it. So here is Pac-Man in the corner, grabbing another power pellet. Trying to gobble up some more pellets here to the left. 10 players remaining, and Persia, can Maximilian operate with enough control? He's got a lot of speed, but we've seen him get tripped up before when he starts moving too fast. And oh, Maximilian, for a moment, avoided the red Jammer Pac-Man, but you saw was too far away from a power pellet, and he'll get another top 10 finish and gather up 7 points here.
Jeez, Max performed a just frame turn, which gives you a little bit of a boost whenever you're turning, and that did get him out of dodge, but unfortunately he got wrapped right back into the mess, and that got him. And you know, Clyde kind of scared Max a little bit there, but Clyde is a vibe. He chills. He kind of does his own thing. He moves randomly. He likes to hang out in the corners of the map, though. So while Clyde was not actually going after Max in that moment, just his presence alone was very intimidating and kind of put Max in a tricky situation.
Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde. Clyde, a textbook example of when you run out of baby names. So Clyde just sort of chilling and doing whatever he wants to do. Still a welcome part of the Ghost family here in our Pac-Man 99 challenge as we check in on ARUUU. Under 45 competitors left as ARUUU is building up a nice combo of 38. Another power pellet to extend this potential combo. And now just going to make some quick work of some pack dots on the southern part of this map. And ARUUU, nice control. Already in the top 40 at this moment. No real traffic on the map, and the speed at 0 though, Persia, that's what I keep an eye on, because at round 5 you can get away with that, but when you start to get to 7 and 8 and there's more Jammer Pac-Man on the board, you gotta get those speed boosts.
I absolutely agree, especially if you're not getting a blink board that's going to grant you the speed boosts automatically. Speak of the devil. All right. Just like that, now we do have a little bit of speed on the board for ARUUU, but yeah, unless you're running into those frequently, you are going to be pretty slow in the later games. Something though that I found pretty interesting with ARUUU that I have seen a couple of times now is that sometimes if she notices the train is in the tunnel, she'll go for it, because not only is Pac-Man faster, that means Pac-Man's going to be able to take care of that combo quickly and still have more ghost time, but unfortunately ARUUU has fallen to the ghost at 16 in this match.
6 points for ARUUU, but this is also a battle of attrition. Do you have the stamina to go 15 matches and making sure that you're placing consistently in the top 10, because you know you've got some very talented competitors hot on your heels? And here is Justin Wong, who started at the bottom. Now he's trying to be at the top, just cruising along in the top right corner, and now he is here. Absolutely. And Justin Wong, who we've seen gathers a couple of speed boosts, but then really likes to go for those trains. And Persia, he loves to save those trains for the later rounds. I thought that was a very fascinating strategy, because then you can unleash an all-out assault when you start to get to that top 10 and you've got a ghost train of 20, 25 just chilling right in front of you.
Exactly. I mean, we've seen Justin use it as a defense mechanism, but something we're starting to see here now. And, you know, we've been talking about all of our players knowing when to sit and absorb Jammer Pac-Man damage. But we're starting to see now, as it goes on into the later rounds, that if they are approaching and they're near a power pellet, they're just going to go ahead and grab that, because it gets to a point where just any bit of slowdown in these later rounds is actually going to give you huge consequences.
And Justin Wong has a monstrous train sitting there. He'll go ahead and grab a ticket, hop on board, and build up that combo. Justin Wong now going to start a new combo. He's in the top 20. You have the apple. That'll advance him to round 6. Jammer Pac-Man appearing, trying to close in on his position. That power pellet will clear things out. In hot pursuit of another power pellet. And how about this? Stays in place to make sure he doesn't consume that other power pellet. That's what I talk about when it comes to watching your calories. Justin Wong doing a fine job, but no! The spawn and placement of the red Jammer Pac-Man. I think Justin felt here, Persia, that he was able to sneak by, but no.
That was
for one pack.
That was an unfortunate input error. I'm gonna give Justin the benefit of the doubt. Massive input error right there. And you know, that is the danger of these red Jammer Pac-Man. They stay there, they haunt you, but from a distance, unless you don't have that power pellet activated, which is just really terrifying. But Maximilian now back on the speed train, of course, and about to crack top 20 in this match, and go ahead and burns that power pellet like we were mentioning before. No use to take that slowdown if you feel like it's going to put you in a bad situation later. And now that he doesn't really have a lot of trains to worry about, he's focusing mostly on the pack dots, which is a part of his speed plan, which makes total sense.
Maximilian with 5 red Jammer Pac-Man on the board will go ahead and build up a nice little combo of 11, clear those red Jammer Pac-Man, but immediately met with 3 more, add 2 more, and another one to the mix. And now there are 6 Jammer Pac-Man spread out throughout this map here, and somehow he just powers through that red Jammer Pac-Man. That was remarkable there, Persia, and he keeps things alive. He's in the top 7 at this moment.
The awareness right now from Max is absolutely...
Oh, but the spawn of the red Jammer Pac-Man, you see just the eyes bulging for Maximilian. He can't believe it. What horrible luck.
Either.
Unbelievable.
Really popped on me.
That was such an unfortunate spawn right there for the red Jammers, and just another reason to be absolutely terrified of having them on your board. If anybody sees that, at least they know now that it's possible.
Another 7 points for Maximilian as we check in on ARUUU. ARUUU still looking for a top 5 finish. He started this entire Pac-Man 99 challenge off with the top 5 finish and quickly raced to the lead, but now trying to make sure she doesn't hang out at the bottom of the leaderboard, as we've seen a surge from Justin Wong and Maximilian to create a little bit of separation. Here is ARUUU absorbing several of those Jammer Pac-Man, gets the power pellet moving up north, sees the red Jammer Pac-Man, going to choose to go with that train. And just a reminder, once you start a train, regardless of the amount of time left on your power pellet meter, you will have time to continue that combo. ARUUU avoiding the spawn of the red Jammer Pac-Man, and at that speed at 0 in round 7, Persia, I go back to that. Is that going to be enough this late in the game? As once again, who else but Pinky adding another notch on the KO list, as Pinky will eliminate ARUUU, and ARUUU finishing up in 9th place, grabbing 7 more points.
I mean, I think we're going to need a ghost leaderboard at this point, because Pinky is absolutely carrying the ghost team right now.
So Justin Wong in your bottom right at 57. I believe he's 1 match behind, still has a chance to get some more points and catch up. ARUUU vaulting yourself to 2nd place. Everybody pursuing Maximilian with those 69 points here in the lead. And Vampy not too far behind at 51. As we've mentioned, all it takes is 1 3rd place, 1 2nd place, or you know what? If you can become PAC-ONE, you are going to find yourself at the top. So every single match of these 15 matches will matter. And Justin Wong, let's check in on him because there's 62 competitors left. He's moving around in the bottom right corner. We've seen him flirt with the top 10 in Persia. Usually when he gets eliminated, it's because of things that he can control, input errors, or maybe not getting to a pellet in time rather than just getting sandwiched by the ghosts.
Yeah, I mean, he's all about the patient play, but when you got things in the game that are going to slow you down substantially or things that are going to block your path completely, playing patient becomes a little bit more difficult. So while it is his patented style, he is going to have to switch it up and, you know, RTSD a little bit towards the end of these games if he wants to be able to get some real points that are going to bring him back into this.
Justin Wong trailing our leader Maximilian by 12 points. If he can place in the top 5, he'll be tied at the top of our Pac-Man 99 Challenge leaderboard with 5 more matches remaining. He'll move on to round 4. Justin Wong, as we mentioned, has won 9 titles at EVO in his fighting game career. This would be another title that I'm sure he would love. All the bragging rights that come with being the winner of our Pac-Man 99 Challenge. And Vampy, 36 competitors remaining. Both players nearly identical. And here comes
the same
Vampy.
Match?
It might be the same match. You see both of them in round 4. Let's keep an eye. And they're in the same room. So Vampy and Justin Wong going influencer here in our 10th match. And here is Justin Wong gets the freebie board. Always appreciated. In round 5, he'll build up a combo. Now, if only there was like a Vampy button or a Justin Wong button to really send your ghost to that. That would make things very theatrical here.
I mean, if they can find each other on the board and give it a tap, they might be able to do so. But there's so many things to like take into consideration. I don't know if they're going to even be focusing on that right now, let alone if they even know that they're in each other's game. But the interesting thing here, and something that I actually want to keep an eye on, is we have Justin Wong at a speed level of 5 versus Vampy's speed level of 1. And look at that, the major difference here. It is so much more difficult to outrun and to actually evade the ghosts when you do absorb Jammer Pac-Man damage when you don't have the speed boost.
So Vampy eliminated. She gets a top 20 finish. That will give her 6 points and move her up to 51. But Justin Wong sitting at 57, still cruising along. Oh, a huge power pellet to keep his hopes alive, turning the ghost blue. And in hot retreat, he'll try and build up a minor combo. You see he's got 1 medal. That'll help boost his attacks. Right now, just lighting a fire and pitching a tent by that power pellet, camping on out. Red Jammer Pac-Man trying to ruin the party. But no dampening this fire for Justin Wong. Avoids being sandwiched by some Red Jammer Pac-Man and will clear out some real estate. Justin Wong, nearly pinched by the Red Jammer Pac-Man, and an unfortunate spawn in that northwest corner of that Red Jammer Pac-Man. Justin Wong was cruising along, had that power pellet ready to chow down on, but the Red Jammer Pac-Man grabbing the last seat in the restaurant before Justin Wong could get to it. And so Justin Wong moving up. Maximilian, though, gets a chance to add to his lead here potentially as we check in on him. Another top 10 finish in the holster for Maximilian. He'll clear out the Red Jammer Pac-Man, and there's that speed, Persia. He's got speed of 5 here in round 8, but he waited too long, Persia. He waited too long. You can't let your food cool down. He had 5 medals ready to roll. It was just a little too patient and an unfortunate knockout for Maximilian there in the corner.
That is the double-edged sword to that strategy. Camping the corner next to the power pellet, absorbing some of that slowdown, but you absorb a second too much and you can't even reach the pellet in time. Heartbreaker, true heartbreaker. I feel the pain behind taking a loss like that, but there still is one more chance in this set of games.
And after this set, we'll take a quick little break and get to our next 5 games. But one more match remaining, a chance for any one of our competitors to get one of those crucial top 3 finishes that will quickly move them up the leaderboard. And we've seen Justin Wong flirt with it. We mentioned his theme has just been bad luck. It really hasn't been poor play or poor decision making. It's a red jammer Pac-Man spawning here or an input error here. And that has been for Justin Wong the issue. Can he catch Maximilian, knowing that you have the consistency of Vampy and ARUUU right there ready to take a foothold if either one of them slip up? So it's been very interesting, and our leaderboard shows you that Maximilian is really starting to pace himself well with those speed boosts. Getting another top 10 finish was big for him, but Persia, this is starting to really heat up as we get set to the final third of our competition here today.
Absolutely, and it's only going to get more intense because now our players are getting the feel for it. They're starting to define their strategies. They're starting to see what's not working, and you can tell by the level of saltiness after the match when they accidentally run into something, how much of that is really computing in their head at the time. And I think that's a beautiful thing, actually, because it means that they're picking apart the game as they're playing it, which means our next set of 5 games is going to be beautiful.
Let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard here as all 4 of our influencers fighting for that ever precious exposure. And it's Maximilian in the lead by 12, 76 points, leading Justin Wong, who's at 64. But there is ARUUU at 62 and Vampy not too far behind with 57 points. Don't forget a first place finish. That'll net you 50 huge points. A second place finish, 25, third, 15, fourth or fifth, 12 points, and then a big drop off, just 7 points for 6th through 10th. And that's really where a lot of folks are hanging out here, Persia. They're getting those finishes of 7th, 8th, 9th, maybe 12th. We haven't seen too many top 5 finishes, which is where you really start to see the separation.
Absolutely true. And I'm honestly so curious to see who is going to take first place first, right? Because that's 50 points. One first place can really make the difference at any point in this whole entire event.
Vampy grabbing the cherry, moving on to round 2, 65 competitors left. We saw last game, Justin Wong and Vampy were on the same match. They were going toe to toe, and it was
and
Justin
I think
Wong
we might have it again.
It might be. They're both at 57. We'll see if that's the situation. And now 53 remaining on Justin Wong's board, 52. And this could be another mirror match that we're seeing here between the two. And Justin Wong, who stumbled a little bit out of the gate in our first 5 matches, has been very strong over the last handful. And they're both in the top 50 at this point. Justin Wong navigating that top right corner, trying to eliminate some jammer Pac-Man with the power pellet. He does a combo of 26, trying to get greedy. Builds upon that combo, mowing through some jammer Pac-Man. Has a chance just to eliminate them, grabs the power pellet, and Vampy also in the top 40. Vampy just cruising along, but the difference, Persia, we'll say it again, 3 speed for Justin, 0 for Vampy.
Exactly. Later rounds are going to be extremely difficult for Vampy, but let's see if she can use it to her advantage. Justin right now is looking really strong, really smooth, not really going for major combos or anything at this moment. Definitely has his eye on the strategy of getting nice and strong before we get into the late game.
And you hear Vampy complaining about just how crowded her board was a couple moments ago, but able to clear things out. You see the 2 jammer Pac-Man spawning for Vampy. Justin Wong eliminating 4 jammer Pac-Man as both players, top 30. Points on the line. Justin Wong sitting at 64. Built up a small combo, avoids the red jammer Pac-Man that spawns right in his path. Grabbing a few more pack dots, has 2 power pellets on the menu at his disposal to help him navigate his way to that red apple. And here is Justin Wong trying to move on to the next round. That'll eliminate the red jammer Pac-Man. Gets a nice little chain to send some more attacks out his way. But had a chance, but then U-turn. And how about Clyde? Little old Clyde just doing his own thing there, Persia. And it's Clyde that gets the KO in a top 20 finish. And as we said, Clyde will move randomly. Good luck guessing what our orange ghost Clyde will do.
And finally, as we've been talking about speed versus no speed, we've got a win on the no speed side, but it is short-lived because Vampy has been taken out and she is not happy about that.
Vampy not very pleased about getting taken out by Blinky, meeting Blinky head on. And so you just see how difficult things start to get when you're trying to juggle Ghost. You're trying to juggle White Jammer Pac-Man, Red Jammer Pac-Man, trying to get Fruit, trying to get to your power pellets. It's just a lot to process. And I know a lot of our competitors dabble in fighting games. That's their specialty. But when it's just one-on-one, it's a lot different when you're taking on 4 to 10 to maybe even 20 different opponents on the map as we check out the leaderboard here. And as we get set for the final third of our Pac-Man 99 challenge, it's Maximilian in the lead, 81 over Justin Wong at 70. Vampy and ARUUU not too far behind as Vampy moves up to third place, sending ARUUU to fourth. And all it takes is one big match here. Are we going to see a second or third place finish here, Persia? Do you feel it by any chance?
Oh, absolutely. We've had our first 2 blocks of matches. That was all intel. Now this next set is definitely where all of our players are going to kick it up a notch. I can feel it.
We're going to step aside. When we come back, we will crown a champion in our Pac-Man 99 challenge. The final 5 matches. Can Maximilian hang on, or will Justin Wong and company catch up? Stick around. We'll be right back.
Pac-Man is back. It's back as a Battle Royale game? Pac-Man 99! Nintendo Switch online service subscribers can play online matches with up to 99 players for free. And to enjoy Pac-Man 99 even more, we'll introduce you to purchasable DLC. In Private Match, you can play against your friends. Share a password with your friends to play online together. You can compete with your friends anywhere at any time. See who can be the last Pac-Man standing. In CPU battle, you can concentrate on practicing against CPU. You can adjust the difficulty level and Pac-Man's movement speed at the start of the game. Test your skills against 98 CPU players. In score attack, compete for the fastest time to achieve the unbelievable perfect score. Eat as many ghosts as possible while completing each round. Can you be the fastest to achieve the perfect score from the original Pac-Man? In blind time attack, complete 12 rounds as fast as possible within the time limit. Eat a fruit in the center of the screen to complete a round and earn more time. Discover new ways to gain time bonuses and find your path to victory. These additional modes will be available by purchasing the Pac-Man 99 Mode Unlock DLC. Additionally, you can customize your experience with classic Namco game themes by purchasing the custom theme DLCs. There are 20 classic Namco game themes in total, such as Galaga and Dig Dug. Eat, run, survive. Pac-Man 99, available exclusively to Nintendo Switch Online subscribers for free. Get the complete experience by purchasing the Pac-Man 99 Deluxe Pack, available now.
Bandai Namco.
Pac-Man or not, eat, run, survive is terrific life advice. Welcome back to our Pac-Man 99 challenge. Jordan Kent alongside Persia. We have our 4 influencers getting set for their final 5 matches. But before we check out the leaderboard, we have some more DLC that is now available and all the different skins. And how about this here, Persia? Hopping Mappy. Yes, you get Mappy that is hopping. Arcade game that came out in 1986 and nice little skin that you can use as you play some more Pac-Man 99.
Yep, and absolutely free. We did see the trailer for some other DLC that's going to be available, but you can snag this one whenever and at your earliest convenience.
Let's go ahead and check out our leaderboard as Maximilian leading the way amongst our 4 streamers. Don't forget, you can check out their individual point of view by joining their streams on Twitch. Maximilian leading by 11 points. It might seem like a lot, but that is just 1 4th or 5th place finish difference right there. Justin Wong in 2nd at 70, Vampy at 63, and ARUUU bringing up the caboose at 62, but not too far behind. And really what has set the tone for all this year, Persia, was Maximilian getting our highest single match finish of 2nd. That gave him 25 points. Nearly a third of his points after 10 matches have come from just 1 2nd place finish.
Exactly. Like you said, 2nd place. So who knows how this leaderboard is going to look if someone gets 1st place or if multiple people get 1st place. I think that's the most exciting part, is that truly no one is out of this yet, because although we do have a 1st place and a last place at the moment, everyone is still very close in the point difference.
Final 5 matches. Justin Wong, we've seen rise up the leaderboard, but also ARUUU and Vampy have been very consistent. Really, the one deviation in strategy has been Maximilian, really aggressive about getting those speed boosts, and it served him well as he gets to those later rounds because he's just that much quicker than the Ghost and the Jammer Pac-Man that allows him to survive just a little bit longer. And I wonder if our other players will start to maybe change their strategy, realizing that there's only 5 matches left.
They're going to have to do something if they want to make sure that they get more points this time around. And we've mentioned it so many times before, but they definitely have a better grasp on the game now that they've played a few and warmed up a little bit. So I think our upcoming matches are going to be really good.
5 matches remaining, bragging rights on hand. We'll have an interview with our winner at the end. And when it comes down to Pac-Man 99, all the different strategy, we've seen some of the camping strategies take place that have really been smart at different times here, Persia, because it allows you to get rid of those white jammer Pac-Man, which you might feel like you can ignore during a particular round. But how many KOs have we seen here today where it's just been 1 or 2 white jammer Pac-Man that slow down Pac-Man just enough to get caught by one of the ghosts?
Yeah, especially in those later rounds where if you don't have that speed built up or you're not using the speed boost, it's going to be really hard to avoid. So hopefully for our players who are not exactly opting for the speed boosts with every round, hopefully they're using the speed boost that they have available to them on the left-hand side of their screen.
And you see Maximilian, not only is he getting the speed boost, but he's using the speed power-up, and that'll send fewer jammer Pac-Man to his opponents, but he doesn't really need to be too strong offensively. His speed and evasion has served him well, and that's what really catapulted him to the lead with that second place finish. And at this moment, just making quick work of round one, banks another speed boost as he moves to round two, a 75% filled map. And that's another factor, Persia. What map are you going to get? When does it come as far as how many dots appear? That can make a huge difference in your strategy also.
It definitely can, because if you get lucky and you start with a clear board and you get that speed boost right off the bat, that can definitely change the way you pursue the rest of that game by giving you a leap ahead of everybody else pretty much. I think getting a clear board at the start is huge. I don't know if any of our players have run into that yet, but I think that is a great place to start, and that is a random mechanic. Like, you could start with that great board, or you could just have to deal with clearing it out the old-fashioned way.
Back to our four shot, all four competitors still in the top 55 and doing a fine job just plowing through. But it feels like that ceiling, Persia, is that top 20 and that top 10. Getting through those thresholds have proved to be very difficult. To do that consistently throughout our matches here today, especially that top 10. I mean, how many times have we seen somebody get to that 8 or 9 spot and then just stay there for what feels like forever and not get some of those precious points that are waiting for you at 4th and 5th?
All right, Jordan, I want you to take a moment and see that all of our players are in the same game right now.
I love it. I love it. The club is full right now as all four players are in the same game. So you've got the bragging rights of this game and some crucial points up for grabs. How about Vampy in your top right? A huge ghost chain that she's going to chow down on. Using those tunnels, as we know, the ghosts move 50% slower in those tunnels. Another power pellet and a fruit waiting for Vampy. She'll go ahead and snag that fruit, clear those red jammer Pac-Man, and move to round 5. But how about our two speedsters? Top left, Maximilian with that 4 speed, and oh no, Vampy, our first one to be KO'd in this game. So Vampy getting just 4 points, finishing 34th. That's not like her, Persia. That is not like her at all.
It was definitely a tough one, and honestly, having all of these players in the same game means that everyone is slinging some major jammer Pac-Man at each other, probably more so than they expected in the other matches, because we've got some high caliber talent in this event. But now ARUUU and Vampy are out, and Maximilian and Justin Wong are the final two from our group of 4 that were in the same match that are still trying to get that first place. We're very close to top 10.
Justin Wong in your bottom right trying to fling some phantoms to his competitors as he gobbles up that train, gets another train afterwards for a second ride, and Justin Wong, top 12, Maximilian 13 remaining. Maximilian gets KO'd, so a chance for Justin Wong to get closer to our leader. Maximilian, he's already at number 8, has a power pellet in front of him, has to be careful not to be consumed by too many jammer Pac-Men. Going to avoid those 3 red ones, has a chance to get another speed boost, but I think at this point he just wants to keep that power pellet meter going. Justin Wong still at 8, and this is where you see the KOs are very sparse. Now up to 6, Justin Wong. Can he get to 5th place and get 12 huge points and close the gap with Maximilian? Builds that ghost train. He's got room in the top right, trying to get to that power pellet. He fights and grunts his way to there. And who else? It is Pinky, who has dominated the game for the Ghosts, who gets another KO. But for Justin Wong, I will say here, Persia, he gets 5th and gets 12 huge points, narrowing the margin that our boy Maximilian has in first.
Yes, absolutely, closing the gap. That was a huge game, actually. All 4 of the players are in the same match, which means whoever did get the furthest is actually causing the most impact on the leaderboard.
And so we saw Justin Wong make up ground of at least 5 points on Maximilian. Maximilian had a 12-point lead going into that 11th match of the afternoon, but Justin Wong able to outlast the competition in that game. We saw some uncharacteristic early KOs for both ARUUU and Vampy. They finished in the top 40, so they didn't get too much on the leaderboard, and now they're going to find themselves even further away from our top 2 leaders in Justin Wong and Maximilian. But ARUUU, I still think she has a breakthrough game here, Persia. She has just been steady and persistent, and I think she's really going to bounce back. She seems like she's got that personality that once you knock her down, she gets right back up, and a chance here for ARUUU early on to build up a few more combos. She's already in the top 50, and she knows that she is just one second place or third place finish from vaulting herself right back to the top here, Persia. So ARUUU navigating the bottom right at this moment, has a power pellet in her sights as Clyde tries to close the gap. That'll send Clyde in a hot retreat, gobbles up the strawberry. And here is the power pellet that is snatched by ARUUU, and she makes quick work of round 4, getting an empty board. And here is ARUUU on the top right, navigating to a second power pellet, this time making her way to the southern hemisphere of this map. Keeps the train alive. ARUUU chowing down, now 26 on the combo. 33 players remaining for ARUUU. Can she get that crucial top 3 finish and move up this leaderboard of our Pac-Man 99 challenge? She only has 3 more matches remaining after this one, so the opportunities are thinning. Gobbles up the fruit, moves along to round 5, has a speed boost of 1, which is pretty sufficient at this point. Some more sleeping ghosts added to the train. 23 competitors remaining. First appearance of Jammer Pac-Man. ARUUU nearly goes a little too far, but able to hit the brakes. We'll get another power pellet. That'll slow down those red Jammer Pac-Men. Gobbles up another one, sees the apple down in the south. We'll move towards that and clear those red Jammer Pac-Men. ARUUU nearing top 10 territory. She is focused. Look at that. Just a relaxed look on her face as she is nearing some major points. Gets the power pellet in the top right. No Jammer Pac-Man on the board at this point. That is a rarity this late in the game. Oh, but times up that apple perfectly. That'll eliminate those red Jammer Pac-Man and is getting a lot of hugs by those white Jammer Pac-Man, but able to avoid that. Grabs the power pellet, and here we go, Persia. ARUUU in the top 5.
This is exactly what she needs right now, and she's playing steadily and staying focused. She actually was heading into the area that all of the jammers spawned in, but she made it out of there and is getting this combo in the process. She's looking pretty strong right now. I think this is going to be her match to win.
Is this the breakthrough for ARUUU? We've seen a second place finish from Maximilian. ARUUU trying to hang on to third. That'll give her 15 points. You've got the 4 best players in this match of 99 just trying to stay alive. Here comes a huge combo from ARUUU. She's got room. Still trying to just hope that some of her competitors can get KO. This is a very tenacious quartet of remaining players in her match of 99. Has the next option to move to the next stage. Oh, traffic is coming in thick. ARUUU trying to fight through it, but it's going to be Inky this time. Inky, as we know, will switch up the play style, will either pursue or try to trap in front of you. And we saw Inky that time switch to more of a trapping technique, Persia. And we see ARUUU having to grasp her air as she was holding her breath down the stretch. But 12 huge points for ARUUU in that game. Well played.
Yeah, Inky is quite possibly one of the most terrifying of all the ghosts because Inky can take on those characteristics of everyone else. So definitely pick the perfect one there. And then the red Jammer sealing the fate of Maximilian here in this match and giving him a 7th place finish.
Maximilian picking up 7 points, but we've mentioned the threshold of getting up to 5th gives you 5 more additional points for a total of 12. We've seen Justin Wong do that, and Justin Wong, if he can last it out and get a top 5 finish, he might have a chance to vault Maximilian for the lead with just 3 matches left. We move along to round 5 as a speed boost of 4 at this moment, just sticking with that standard power-up. Nothing wrong with that. And he's also going with the counter strategy with this targeting here, Persia.
I mean, that is a great choice, actually, because when he does decide to go for these combos, it is going to target everyone that is targeting him. And the fact that we do see a lot of these jammers popping up and spawning means there are definitely a couple of people looking to take him out. But he's been pretty patient and also getting ahead of the curve by snagging pellets long before he's ever in danger, which is going to be the big change, especially in these last few rounds where we're getting to the last few people and the ghosts are absolutely, you know, true speed demons at that point once we break the top 10.
The Speedy Specters on the board as Justin Wong now moves into the top 10, chilling by the power pellet, just waiting for a few more folks to show up so he can dictate the terms of this agreement. Moves to the left, going to keep that combo going, gobbles up another power pellet, has the melon in the bottom. He's got to be quick. There's a lot of traffic to navigate here, but a clear path to eliminate those red Jammer Pac-Man. Now in the top 6, can Justin Wong get top 5 and possibly take the lead on our leaderboard here today? Justin Wong in the corner. Gobbles up the fruit, moves to round 9. Eating a few more ghosts. Nothing on the map at this point. Justin Wong just trying to survive and hang on a little bit longer. Going to send Pinky in retreat. Inky trying to close the gap, but no, Justin Wong, he is in full control at this moment. Dare I say, in the zone. Clearing the red Jammer Pac-Man. Justin Wong now in 4th, now in 3rd. 15 points on the board for Justin Wong. Can he get 2nd and create some huge separation? Waiting by the power pellet. Chomps up Inky. More Jammer Pac-Man appearing. Justin Wong trying to find a crevice. He's in the top 2. Can Justin Wong become PAC-ONE and really create a huge lead late in our Pac-Man 99 challenge? Justin Wong, no more power pellets, has to get to the fruit. Moves along to the next round, buys himself some more time. It's he and one other Pac-Man in this group of 99. Justin Wong has first place in his sights. Already is guaranteed 25 points. There's the bell in the middle to try and send him to the 10th round. Justin Wong, oh, what a dodge! Breaks some ankles, but can't get there in time. Did Justin Wong do it? No, falls just short to Ramses. Justin Wong, though, 25 points, Persia, and there it is. You called it out. We were going to see another one of these, and Justin Wong doing it in the clutch when it mattered the most.
That was a really long one-on-one between first and second place right there. That definitely a stamina battle. And I think, if I recall correctly, I saw Justin using the strength ability. And while that is going to send more damage to your opponents, one, it's going to require you to send those long combos over to begin with. And secondly, it's actually going to make more dangerous Jammer Pac-Man spawn on your own board when you use it. So a little bit of give and take there could have contributed to his downfall. Just one too many Jammer Pac-Man getting spawned on the board to send that extra damage. But we've seen him swap between a few, and that's something that I think we're also going to see out of more of our players. Maximilian likes to stick onto the speed ability here, but in the later rounds, we start to see that change a little bit, and I think that's the true end goal for the strategies in Pac-Man 99.
A clutch performance from Justin Wong that now gives him the lead on our leaderboard with 2 more matches remaining. But Maximilian, does he have another monstrous performance in his pocket? He's in the top 30, still plenty of work to do. Trails Justin Wong by less than 10 points. Gobbles up a chain of 18. He's going to absorb some of these Jammer Pac-Men. Gets the power pellet just in time. Still using that speed power up and at level 5 speed. So he has got plenty of movement at his tips, and it's just a matter, Persia, if he can control how fast Pac-Man is at this point.
Exactly. Honestly, watching Maximilian's screen right now, and then we switch over to like another person's screen, the visual difference is so jarring. Oh,
Inky! Yes, Inky once again stepping up for Team Ghost, getting a KO, and for Maximilian, that is a huge L that he takes because that is just 5 points, and he still trails Justin Wong, and Justin Wong has one more match to play beyond what Maximilian has. So now the pressure's really on Maximilian.
Definitely.
Can she pocket a huge performance? She was flirting with a top 2 finish. She got up to 4th in one of her previous matches. She's not too far away as she continues to just build upon her skill. Match after match here, Persia, and we're seeing ARUUU really transcend, it seems like, in these late couple of matches.
She's definitely getting more focused and kind of taking her time too, and not feeling too rushed, I think is important, especially like we saw on Max's end. He was so incredibly fast that it is probably very difficult to control Pac-Man at that speed. And sometimes you just have to know your own boundaries too. And I see that in ARUUU's game plan right now. You know, she's comfortable picking up the pellets even if there's no immediate danger. She's comfortable taking her time to clear out the pack dots, and she's not, you know, wasting too much time trying to set up big trains or combos, but more so focusing on the job at hand, which is making sure she's set up for the late game.
The multi-talented ARUUU, a cosplayer, a streamer, a TikTok sensation with over 1 million followers. I'm sure they are all rooting her on at this moment as she is trying to climb her way up the bottom. It is Inky who is now trying to challenge Pinky for her most valuable ghost. And Inky all over the place here. We know about that random behavior alternating between other styles. The well-rounded, adaptable Inky once again dashing the hopes of ARUUU as she finishes 12th and will gather up 6 points.
Yeah, Inky really showing up big in this final set of matches. Has almost caught everyone on the list. I think Vampy is the last one to go down to Inky. So let's see if she can be our lone survivor of Inky's rampage.
Vampy usually likes to take it nice and slow, doesn't really mess around with those speed boosts, just moves along the perimeter of any particular map as she makes her way through the rounds and methodically just trying to eliminate Ghost, and grabs the fruit in the middle to advance to round 5. Has a chance to build up a combo here at this moment. But here is Justin Wong sitting at 107 and now in the top 30. He is your leader of our Pac-Man 99 challenge today as we get set for the last couple of matches of these 15 total matches. Can Justin Wong hang on? He knows all about the endurance it takes to win a tournament. He's got 9 EVO titles in his pocket for his career. So this is nothing new to him. Being on the big stage with pressure, thrives in these situations as he moves on to round 5. And it's that balance here with Justin Wong, Persia, that stands out to me. He doesn't go for 5 and 6 for the speed, but he also makes sure that he uses that camping strategy and doesn't live on that. So I love what we're seeing, the variety from Justin Wong, Persia.
Absolutely. And again, we are finding Vampy and Justin in the same exact match. So we're going to see how that plays out. And maybe if Vampy can do a little bit of gatekeeping somehow to keep Justin's score down, because he's definitely pulling away. But looking at our forward cam here, everyone's looking strong. Max again building up that speed. ARUUU's about to break into the top 50. And then, of course, our head-to-head, both Vampy and Justin are still in this match. But Vampy's screen has a lot of friends over. We're going to have to get rid of a few of them.
Vampy trying to end the party and kick him out of the house here. She's now in the top 11, has a chance. Oh, could have gone north to get the apple. Decides to get another power pellet. Might be trapped. She can make her way there. She's got to hurry up. Grabs the apple, moves to round 7. She's got to continue to move. As ARUUU, you see the frustration. She gets KO'd at 44, so she's starting to possibly wilt as we close things out. 2 top 10s in our sights. Vampy on your left, Justin Wong on your right. A first place finish will give you 50 points. Justin Wong plowing through, but then it's Pinky on Vampy that gets the KO. Vampy finishing in the top 5. Very impressive for 12 points. But Justin Wong still motoring along, trying to add to his lead. Gobbles up the melon, eliminates the red jammer Pac-Man. You see how fast these ghosts are moving at this point, and Justin Wong still sticking with that standard strategy. Feels like he has enough speed, and here he is, Persia. Feels like he's in control as he sits at second. Can he outlast and really apply the KO? And Justin Wong has done it. We have our first PAC-ONE Justin Wong popping off and getting 50 huge points to create all the separation in the world as we get closer to the end of our Pac-Man 99 challenge. And how about that, Persia?
That was so clutch and exactly what Justin needed for this final set of games. We have yet to have anyone take first place. So of course, in true Justin Wong fashion, the first one to do it is him. But that is going to be a monumental task for each and every one of our remaining players, because that's a 50-point gap, not counting how far he was already ahead, that they are going to have to surpass.
A treasure trove of points coming the way of Justin Wong, showered in riches as he gets 50 points to create a chasm of a deficit between he and Maximilian. And Justin Wong, oddly enough, started off our first 5 matches in last place, but it goes to show you the persistence and the adaptability of Justin Wong. Now, don't rule out Maximilian. He's finished second before. Here he is in the top 8, and a lot of his KOs have just been bad spawns by the red jammer Pac-Man. Can he get lucky enough this time? Beautiful movement as he avoids Blinky. Has a chance to go up to that ghost chain, but realizes he has to get that fruit, gets the power pellet. See the Galaga pop up. Oh, Maximilian nearly consumed by Pinky, but able to avoid her. And now has a chance to just catch his breath, build up a little combo here as those ghosts slow down in the tunnel. What a wonderful opportunity for Maximilian. Gets to the power. Oh, but an input error for Maximilian. See, you're supposed to take the second left on Main Street, not the first there, Persia. That's what happens when you miss your turn.
Yeah, that's a one-way street, and we see why now, because the red jammer Pac-Man, again, being the bane of Maximilian's existence so far today. But we're going to hop over to Vampy's screen. Had a very close bout with Justin Wong in his first place finish. Made it all the way to, I believe, top 5 of that match as well. Let's see if she can carry that momentum over, because, you know, fifth place and above is a good place to be, especially if you're trying to gain more points.
You have to credit Vampy just for her continued improvement. We saw just the consistency, but then all of a sudden she's gotten some really nice top 10, top 5 finishes in the last few matches. And it's worth saying for Maximilian, he's got his YouTube channel, Boss Rage video series, that he takes on some of the most difficult fighting game bosses. Well, I think Justin Wong just all of a sudden got added to that series because Justin Wong has been a monster here today, and it's proving to be maybe a boss too tough for all of our competitors to take down as he creates a larger lead. But Vampy's not out of it yet. She is persistent, as we mentioned, and someone that is just going to be very methodical and is always very cool, calm, and collected here, Persia.
Yes, until the match is over. But that's fine. As long as mid-game we're calm and collected, that's all that matters. But when it comes to Pac-Man 99, it's really tough not to feel the sting of a loss when, like you said before, it really is all on you and your decision making. How long are you going to camp the pellet? How many times are you gonna let Jammer Pac-Man spawn before you do something about it? So on and so forth. And I think Vampy's decision making has been absolutely great when it comes to those things. The only thing I disagree with is not going for any speed boosts. With a little bit of a speed boost, I really feel like Vampy could easily get a first place finish.
She has hung out in Zero Land when it comes to the speed boost multiple times. She is in round 3, grabs the fruit, but another opportunity to maybe clear up some more dots and get that crucial speed boost, because you have to have that speed later on, Persia. It gets to a certain point where the ghosts are simply just faster than you, and you can't outrun them. You're going to have to dodge them, but we'll see. Vampy has proven people wrong and placed in the top 5 without a speed boost. And as always, you can get that empty board that'll give you a free speed boost, but here she is in round 4, still slow as you can be in the beginning. We'll gobble up that power pellet, build a little bit of a chain here, move to the left, just taking her time on that other power pellet. Now in the top 16 for Vampy, and only in round 4, Persia, which is fascinating because the action on her map isn't going to be as fast as some of our other competitors like Maximilian and Justin Wong that at this point are maybe at round 7 or 8 when we've gone this far in the match.
Exactly, but it's looking really good. Luckily, she did get a speed boost here from getting the clear board. And I think maybe the game itself is like, here's some speed. You need a speed boost. You need, to up the quickness a little bit. It's definitely going to make a major difference. But we see here, she is definitely choosing the right parts of the map to be. She sees where her combo is in the bottom right. She knows that this top right area doesn't have much going on. So we can see that she's definitely landscaping well with her board. Now she's opting to clear this combo and send some damage. And the second she gets a chance to advance, she does. She's not afraid to hop over to that next level and do what she's got to do. But let's see, now that she's in the top 5, if she can bring it home for the people not going for the speed boosts.
Vampy taking a bite out of these ghosts. She is in the top 5 and just moving along. Had an opportunity to finish the combo, but goes for the melon to reset the map and get more power pellets. Get some more sleeping ghosts. She sees where her combo opportunity is. But look at how fast that power pellet meter is moving along. And Vampy just cruising along, has a chance to get to the melon. Oh, that was close. Barely got Pinky. And top 4 here for Vampy. Okay. Power pellet on the top left. Trying to avoid these ghosts, but there's the speed. Oh, just enough speed for Vampy. And Pinky, though, persistent. And Vampy, you see, has had enough of Pinky for this Pac-Man 99 challenge, and Pinky just too much speed for Vampy at that last moment, Persia, and it felt like Vampy was in total control, but just wasn't quite quick enough.
It really does come down to that speed right there. She hit the perfect turn to actually get enough of a boost away from Pinky initially, but then turned right back into Pinky's direction, and Pinky was simply faster than Vampy in that moment, like up and down. That is literally what it came down to. So the speed boost here, late game, that's the game changer for our players, So people watching, hop over to Vampy's chat, tell her, you gotta eat all the pellets so you can speed up, because everything else she has under control. It's just the speed at this point.
Justin Wong has exploded for nearly 170 points here today.
Woo!
That was nearly double his point total that he had coming into these final 5 matches. Of course, getting our lone victory of the day, becoming PAC-ONE and getting 50 points, gave him that separation. So at this point, Maximilian mathematically too far behind to try and catch up to Justin Wong in this match, but still, you're chomping power pellets and pack dots for pride at this point. That's what it's all about, finishing out strong, making your pack family proud at home as they watch you, as Maximilian continues to move along to round 6, and you have to credit him. He stuck to that speed strategy here, Persia, did not deviate, and was consistent with it, and it served him well as he nears a potential second place finish.
It definitely set up for some clutch and jaw-dropping moments, right? Going so fast that a red jammer spawns on you in the next round, that's pretty fast. That is extremely fast. And he controls it really well. He gets the perfect turns often. And I think just with all of the jammer PAC-MAN on you at all times, it really goes to show that even if you are as fast as possible, it is possible that it's not going to be enough.
Jeez.
So too quick of a pivot from Maximilian. He thought he got the pellet and then was going to reverse course before that red jammer PAC-MAN was coming. It was just a bite too short. He'll finish in the top 10, and so Maximilian gobbling up 7 more points. But you go back to Justin Wong and just what he did. A second place finish and a first place finish, nearly back-to-back for 75 points. And that was the difference here today. Justin Wong able to really just vault himself to the top with those 2 incredible performances.
Yeah. Getting that first place is huge. So many points. 50 points for the first place. And if we take a look at our leaderboard, well, what looked very close before is definitely not close anymore. And Justin actually still has one more match to play, but he really doesn't need to play it at this point because he already has surpassed everyone. But I think, we're just going to take that victory lap and roll with it for now.
Yeah, if you're Justin Wong at this point, you're shaking hands and kissing babies because you have closed this thing out. So a chance to just flex on folks. But I know Justin Wong. He's a competitor. He's not going to just plop the controller down and take the early KO. He wants to fight and maybe get PAC-ONE one more time. He's got an adoring audience watching his stream. We've seen them chatting the entire time, showering him with praise, especially when he got that PAC-ONE. Folks were losing their mind. And for Justin Wong, it's going to be exciting to see what he does here because Persia, what really stood out to me was he got better over time. He started our first 5 matches in last place and then quickly climbed up the leaderboard and then, of course, exploded over these last 5 matches.
If we're being honest, this is completely canon for Justin Wong because if you think about it, this is in a way a 3 out of 5 set. And in fighting games, taking the first round, maybe even the first 2 rounds if you're feeling confident to gain major intel and build out a well-rounded strategy mixed with the ever popular Wong factor, it's a recipe for success. I had no doubt that in this last 5 matches, we were going to see everyone ramp it up, and Justin's definitely the one to look towards when you think that you're going to see a new clutch strategy emerge from the ashes.
Out of his 9 EVO titles, he won 7 titles in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes. Well, it's a new age of Justin Wong here today as he continues to move towards the top of our leaderboard and dominates the competition in our PAC-MAN 99 challenge. Still in the top 36, but you get the sense here, Persia, that he's going for the gold. That is the theme right now. He is really trying to make sure he can almost double up second place. Those would be some huge bragging rights because another victory would put him over the 200-point total, which seemed unthinkable as we got set for these final 5 matches.
I mean, when you think about it, as a person who's won multiple world championships, is one ever enough? Absolutely got to go for a second first place finish. Got to be PAC-ONE one more time, and I know Justin is going for it. Honestly, he's looking really strong. He's already down close to top 20, and he's just having a nice little chat with his stream right now. Not any stress in the world. Obviously, the stress of his fellow competitors is off of his back because they can't touch him, literally. And so he's looking good, feeling comfortable, and has a very nice setup on his board right now.
And that's what's great about these individual streams is you're getting the strategy talk in real time. And it's amazing how much that's picked up as we've gone through all these matches. Here we are in match number 15 for Justin Wong, our 15th and final match of our PAC-MAN 99 challenge. He is trying to just really dominate the competition. Already going to be our champion, but a chance to add points to his total as he closes out our competition for the day. Sitting here in the top 11, has a chance on the southern hemisphere of this map to grab a few more PAC dots. Chilling by the power pellet, waiting for a few more white jammer Pac-Man to approach closely. Gobbles up the ghost. Now in that northwest corner, just going to absorb some more white jammer Pac-Man. Has a huge train of potential. Gobbles up the apple. Going to leave that train be for now because he knows that timer on the power pellet is dwindling. And there's that exit option that you love to see when there's red jammer Pac-Man. Getting that early fruit to appear is huge, Persia.
Yes, and Justin is getting dangerously close to those red jammer Pac-Man, but had to send a little bit of damage out to people while he's over here trying to stay alive, because at the end of the day, you could be playing very, very well, but if you're not being a threat to the other people who are still in the match and keeping their boards clean, it might be even more difficult for you to secure the win since you're not really sending anything threatening out there.
And Justin Wong exercising portion control. Oh my goodness, what elusiveness from Justin Wong, but he retreats and runs right into Blinky. That was unbelievable. The jam he got himself out of in that northeast corner, but it was too much pressure from our ghost as Blinky gets the final KO over Pac-Man 99 Challenge, but it is Justin Wong who is victorious in an unbelievable performance over these last 5 matches. And we keep saying it here, Persia, a balanced attack plan from Justin Wong and just the ability to improve match after match, because there is some endurance that is involved in this as you're going through these matches, realizing that you're trying to figure out what's my best attack plan when things are always changing. Let's take one more look at our final leaderboard and find the proof in the pudding as Justin Wong rises to the top, 181 points. Very impressive showing, and you have to be clearly amazed by what we saw from Justin here, Persia.
Absolutely. And, you know, he talked a lot about his slow and patient style and something that we definitely know from him. But have we finally found the game for Justin that will allow him to mix both his patient style and an opportunity for rushdown, as we saw him do some very, very lengthy combos. We saw him rushing down ghosts, rushing down pellets. I think we've found the perfect balance for him.
And so you look at Justin Wong and what he was able to do. It was very, very impressive. And let's go ahead and take a look at one more slide here. We've talked about the DLC and all the other gameplay strategy that we have seen here throughout the day through our Pac-Man 99 challenge. But make sure you stay tuned for more Pac-Man 99 event info coming on August 21st. That's right. The Pac-Tion doesn't stop here. This was just a little sample, one little Pac dot, as we like to say, before we chomp down on some more Pac-Man 99 fun. And so congratulations once again to all of our other competitors. They put up a worthy battle. Maximilian seizing the lead early on, but Justin Wong coming from behind and becoming victorious. And just goes to show you here, Persia, just the fun in Pac-Man 99, especially that top 10 when that music starts to change. It gets a little bit faster. I mean, I don't know about you, but my heart rate's moving, and that's when things really seem to get their most intense.
Yeah, definitely. They do it on purpose. They speed up the music. You start feeling your hand shaking a little bit. It's all there to throw you off. But our players did a really, really good job at, you know, weathering the storm. It was a massive stamina battle, especially when you get to those lower placings, like first place to fifth place. Not only is it just mentally a lot to deal with, but now you have 3 other people you're competing against. The match where we had all of our players in the same match, I felt the most like palm sweaty moment, because they were all in there, and it's like the true test of how they're playing Pac-Man 99 against each other.
We saw different strategies take place, but it was Justin Wong that rose to the top. We'll try to snag him here for a quick little interview and get his thoughts, because I loved what he was saying to his channel the whole time. He was talking about his strategy and really walking folks through what he was trying to do. And to me, that's impressive to multitask like that while you're focusing on the game and having a conversation and educating folks that are watching in.
I mean, he's no stranger to spreading some knowledge, and he does coaching. So if anybody else wants to, you know, get some coaching from Justin, now's a perfect opportunity, because he might add Pac-Man 99 to his roster of games. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, that'll do it again for a Pac-Man 99 challenge. Congratulations to Justin Wong, our champion. Also, huge thanks to Maximilian, also as well as VampyBitme and DeputyARUUU. They put up some incredible challenges to our champion, Justin Wong, but it sounds like Justin will get a chance to join us here in just a moment. I do want to get what was going through his mind as he got our lone PAC-ONE of the afternoon. And we saw, Persia, how hard it was when you got to the top 10 to move your way up higher and higher to that last spot. It just seemed like it was forever until somebody finally got eliminated. And that was slowly ticking down from 8 to 7 to 6. And you really had to outlast the competition.
Exactly, because when you are getting down to the last few people of the match, it's stressful. You have a lot on your board, but you also have to keep sending damage. It's not just about surviving, but making it difficult for your opponent too. Because once you get to a point where you're in the final 5 and you are able to equally survive and send damage, that's when you're really becoming a threat and giving yourself more of an opportunity to take first place. Because if you're not sending any damage and you're only trying to stay alive, you're making it easy for everyone else.
Well, today's PAC-ONE, Justin Wong now joins us. And Justin, let's start with this. I want to know, what was the difference for you? You got that first second place finish and you were so close to becoming PAC-ONE. Then you got PAC-ONE. What do you think was the difference for you between getting second and that lone PAC-ONE?
Oh man, to be honest, it really comes down to like the jukes and also the awareness of not being greedy. Because I think a lot of times I'm always greedy to like try to like stall the game as much as possible, because a lot of the early rounds I would just get blocked by the red Pac-Mans, and then I just couldn't move in that situation. But from there, my chat was telling me, yo, just anytime you see the fruit, just kind of like start to prioritize the fruit as the option. And I thought like, yeah, that sounds like the right idea. And that's kind of where I got the momentum going. And then once you get into the zone, you start kind of playing really, really sick. And man, like Pac-Man 99, just like practicing it and just playing it on like off stream, it really got me like I'll just be screaming in my house. Like, and it's crazy because when I'm playing other fighting games, I don't scream in my house. But playing this one is like so intense. It's giving me like my heart rushing, and I'm like sweating just playing the game. I like it a lot. I think that's kind of the reason why I started pulling in the end, was because I just stopped being greedy at one point.
Nice. So Justin, of Pac-Man 99, which mechanic is actually surprising to you, like a silent killer of the group?
I guess the jammer Pac-Mans. The jammer Pac-Mans, a lot of times I would just get, they slow you down. They're just pretty much chomping on you. And a lot of times you just have to hit a corner and kind of just let them eat you up, so then you don't lose that speed. So I started doing that a lot. And I would ask a lot of tips, just from like on Twitter, like what's the best kind of like strategy to play. And then, so using that and prioritizing just getting like speed ups as fast as possible. Like in the beginning to get like your speed up to like speed 2, speed 3. Normally I want to get to like speed 4. And if I can, I'll get to speed 5. That's my comfort zone. But if I start seeing red Pac-Mans while I'm still like speed 3, then I feel like I'm in like super in danger. So you just really have to kind of like have a really good pattern recognition on like where you need to get for your pellets to kind of like not waste any time. Because like once you get down to like the top 25, that's when this kind of like red Pac-Mans might be coming, because you can't tell when it's going to be 50 players less. Sometimes it's long, sometimes it's fast. So it's one of those things where you just really have to like pay attention to everything and not just your board.
Final question for you. We saw multiple times you would almost ignore your ghost train, but choose a time when to consume them. How do you manage when you go after that ghost train and when you decide not to necessarily be on the offensive?
To be honest, I just let them rock. I would say if they're kind of far away from me, I wouldn't chase them. Like I would just eat them when they're close to me. But I like kind of like building up the train as much as possible until you can't like make the train longer. So it's just more of just like waiting for the perfect opportunity, because it would be easy to eat the train, but the problem is you also have to take in calculation that there is just the jammer Pac-Mans. Also, the red Pac-Mans can kill you in those situations. So that's one of the reasons why I wasn't greedy for the kill, because it's a battle royale. I'll just let the other people do the work for me, right? And then kind of wait until when it's like the final 3, the final 2, and then that's when I would start probably prioritizing like to eat the train.
Well, Justin, thank you once again. Congratulations on your championship, and we can't wait to chomp up some more ghosts with you here soon.
Bro, hey man, good. I love your dad joke in the beginning of the stream, man. You know what I mean? It's summer, so it's time to go camping. That resonated with me right there. You know, I love that one. So big shout outs to you over there.
I appreciate it. Next, more on me, my friend. All right, you take it
All
easy.
right. Have a good one.
All right,
guys.
Justin Wong, your champion today in our Pac-Man 99 challenge, and congratulations to all of our competitors. And it was certainly a lot of fun, and a big thank you from both of us here. And on behalf of myself and Persia and our incredibly talented, hardworking engineering team that helped put all this on display, thanks again for joining us. Make sure you continue to stay tuned for more PAC-ONE. And August 21st, you can find out more information. Also, make sure you check out the DLC for Pac-Man 99. Until next time, keep chomping to try and be PAC-ONE.